once again. So our second lesson for today is about subtracting numbers mentally. So the question is, can you subtract numbers mentally? Let's find out. So let's start this with the word problem. So Zoe had 35 crayons. She threw 13 crayons into the dustbin after they broke. How many crayons were left to Zoe? So we can subtract mentally and even start with the highest place value if there is no regrouping to be done. So we have here 35 minus 13. By looking at this, we can already identify that the answer is 22. But what if we need to regroup the numbers? And how can you do that? So we're going to use the compensation method. So let's try this. So we have here 35 minus 9 and 42 minus 8. So all you need to do is to think of a number that if you added to 9, the answer is 10. Of course, the answer is 1. So 9 plus 1, the answer is 10. And after that, we can now subtract the numbers. So 35 minus 10, then of course, the answer is 25. So since you added 1 to 9, we will also add 1 to the answer. So 25 plus 1, the answer is 26. Another example, we have here 42 minus 8. So think of a number that if you add to 8, the answer is 10. So of course, that is 2. So 8 plus 2, the answer is 10. Now, we will try to subtract the numbers. So 42 minus 10, the answer is, what do you think? The answer is 32. But since we added 2 to 8, of course, we will add 2 to the difference. So 32 plus 2, the answer is 34. So what happens in the compensation method is that we just added a number to the subtrahend to make it a multiple of 10. And whatever the number is added to the subtrahend, then we also add it to the answer or to the difference. So let's try another subtraction problem. We have here 52 minus 8. So there's already an answer that is 44. So what happens is we added 2 to both the minuend and the subtrahend. Why did we add 2? We added 2 because the 8 needs 2 in order for it to become a multiple of 10. So 52 plus 2, the answer is 54. 8 plus 2, the answer is 10. So we can now directly subtract the numbers. So 54 minus 10, the answer is 44. So we will not add 1 to the difference because we already added it to the minuend. Okay, so earlier we added 1 because our subtrahend is 9. So 9 needs 1 in order for it to become 10. But this time, we have the 8 as our subtrahend. So it needs 2 to become 10 or to become a multiple of 10. So next, let's have another example. So by the way, using the compensation strategy, we added 2 to both the minuend and the subtrahend. So for our second example, we have here 34 minus 17. The answer is 17. So what happens is we added 3 to both the minuend and subtrahend. Why we chose 3? We chose 3 because if 17 will be added to 3, Then we get 20. 20 is a multiple of 10. So since we added 3 to the subtrahend, of course, we're going to add 3 to the minuend. So 34 plus 3, we have 37. 17 plus 3, we have 20. And now we can subtract mentally the numbers. So 37 minus 20, the answer is 17, which is also the same to the first answer. 34 minus 17, the answer is 17. So let's try to solve this with regrouping. So 4 minus 7 cannot be. So we need to borrow 1 to 3. 3 will become 2, and 1 will be placed beside 4 to make it 14. 14 minus 7, the answer is 7. 2 minus 1, the answer is 1. So it's still the same. The difference is that we just use a compensation method in order for us to subtract mentally the numbers. So, using the same strategy, we add 3 to both the minuend and subtrahend. So let's subtract the following numbers mentally without using a pen and a paper. So in number 1, it's 36 minus 6. So since this is a subtraction without regrouping, of course, we can automatically subtract this. So 36 minus 6, of course, the answer is 30. Next, number 2, we have here 49 minus 8. So think of a number that if you add to 8, the answer is 10. So the answer is 2. So 49 plus 2, we have 51. And then 8 plus 2, we have 10. So therefore, you will subtract 51 minus 10. So the answer is 41. So for number 3, we have 68 minus 21. So again, this is an example without regrouping. So 8 minus 1, then you have 7. 6 minus 2, you have 4. So the answer is 47. Next, number 4, 83 minus 46. So think of a number that if you add to 46, the answer will be 50. Of course, the answer is 4. So 46 plus 4, then you'll get 50. And then 83 plus 4, you'll get 87. So 87 minus 50, the answer is 37. And last example, we have 52 minus 18. Again, think of a number that if you add to 18, the answer will be 20. So of course, the answer is 2. 18 plus 2, then you'll get 20. 52 plus 2, you'll get 54. 54 minus 20, the answer is 34. So we can directly subtract mentally and even start with the highest value if there is no regrouping to be done. And we can use the compensation method in subtracting mentally the numbers that needs to be regrouped. So let's have a word problem involving subtraction. So the steps in solving the problems are, number 1, we need to read and understand the problem. You need to know what is asked and what are given. Next, plan what to do. Identify the operation that needs to be used. And also, you need to give the number sentence. Next, solve the problem. So do the required operation. And last is check the answer. If your answer is reasonable. So let's have this. Mother gave Rico 30 pesos last Friday. Rico spent 15 pesos for his snacks. How much money was left? First, we need to understand the problem. So what is asked? So the answer is the amount of money that is left to Rico. And what are given? You have 30 pesos, that is Rico's money, and 15 pesos, the money spent. Next, plan. What is the process to be used? So the answer is subtraction. And what is the number sentence? So 30 pesos minus 15 pesos, we don't know the answer yet. But we know in mind already that the answer is 15. And letter C, solve using strategy. So 30 minus 15, the answer is 15 pesos. So next, the second problem is there were 2,995 people who went to see the basketball game. 986 were in the front rows and the rest were in the back row. How many were in the back rows? So understand what is asked. It is the number of the people left in the back rows. What are given? The 2,995, the total number of the people, and 986, they are the people in the front rows. So what is the process to be used? The answer is subtraction. And what is the number sentence? It's 2,995 minus 986. And we don't know the answer yet unless you solve it. Next, letter C, solve using strategy. So if you're going to subtract these numbers, then you get the answer, which is 2009. So the answer in the number sentence is 2009. They are the people that were left at the back row. Okay, so our discussion ends here, and I hope that you continue to read and practice these lessons at home.